Welcome to Queernecks, the podcast that puts the yee-haw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I am your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode. We're going to get some more snow this weekend.
Shut your mouth.
Starting tonight, late tonight into tomorrow morning. I looked at the radar. It doesn't look to be a storm or anything, but it's just one strip being across the whole country. So I think
Gonna
it's
cloud
just
that rain all over you.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend's grandma always said that. She's like, stop it, I'm gonna cloud that rain all over you.
Man, that makes me... Sometimes I'll like try to remember like the weird sayings and things that I can feel it all going away the longer I live away from home.
Yeah. I bet you haven't said anything that didn't happen in a coon's age, have you?
Nope, not in a while. Are you gonna watch the Melania
Oh, hell no.
documentary?
Not even if I was paid. Like, not even if I was getting paid to see it would I waste my precious time. I'd rather pick my nose for an hour and a half.
It's got a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
That's the lowest I think I might have ever heard of. Like, I've heard of single digits before, but it's very rare. And yeah, the reviews are pretty hysterical. But Andy Barr, the fucking sellout, right? Tea Party, fucking loser, has been posting on Facebook like he's hosting a free showing of Melania and, trying to get people to sell it out. And it's like, you're begging on Facebook to sell out a free showing. But he posted the pictures today. He said, we packed the house, and it was clearly like some lecture classroom at a community college. It was like a 20-seater, and it was all white people. They all looked... I said, whose family reunion did you round up and drag to this community college? Somebody was like, this is embarrassing. You know what, though? Maybe there's a future in which we all come to know that film like the back of our hand because some brilliant drag queen puts together a high stupid camp beat for beat routine based on it, right? Like the way that whole drag routines have been made around Grey Gardens, the way that drag like continues to find and make art out of the weird things that people do. I have such mixed feelings about Melania because on the one hand, ew, and also what?
Right.
But I do have kind of like a game, respect game kind of thing, right? Because that's a hustler, right? She hustled her way into the richest country in the world using just her 2 sets of lips. And like the visa she's on, like this is some like big brain type of fucking scheming. And I kind of respect that, but also you just can't respect somebody who's... I don't know how to put it, right? Like there's a level of selling out that you just can't forgive, right? There's a line between hustling, sucking up to fascism. And I don't know where it is, but I can feel it somewhere around here.
Yeah, she definitely crossed that line a long time ago. She's been sleeping with the enemy for too long.
Yeah, well, and she's kind of indentured to him, right?
Oh, no.
She can't leave him. I know nothing about where she comes from, I probably have this like American, Western centric view of it as some like war-torn Slavic region. but like she clearly doesn't want to go back there.
I wouldn't want to go back to an Eastern European country. I don't think. That is, I know, a Western viewpoint, right? And then I'm sure that there are lovely parts of it.
I'm so tired of all these technical errors or technical issues. I think, what were we talking about? Movies? Queer movies.
There was a movie where she turns into a guy, just one of the guys or something like that.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, I watched that a lot when I was a kid. Like, that was one of my favorites, and I think that's pretty telling. I had such a queer voice even when I was a little kid. But yeah, so we had access to a lot of movies. So I've seen a lot of movies from the 80s. So mom would bring home things. Like, I very specifically remember this movie called Humongous. And it was about, I think we've talked about it before, it was about some kind of monster or something. But it was scary as hell.
1982?
Yeah, I was 4 in 1982. So that's, probably 6 or 7 when they brought that movie home. I remember it very distinctly, being very scared.
Yeah.
But I had access to the TV anytime I wanted. I had to fight my brother for it. I was third on the totem pole when it came to, I was last man on the totem pole when it got to choosing what we got to watch. But I still got some of my Care Bears and My Little Pony, and I love Strawberry Shortcake, especially, and cartoons and stuff like that.
We watched a lot of, as soon as we got the chance, like when, we started to be left alone more and we even got a TV in our bedroom, we would watch USA Up All Night, which, if y'all don't know about that, it was really like the worst movies. And they would be like this host, what was her name? Rhonda Shear. And she like would wear like lingerie literally and have her like, her hair was enormous and she would usually have like her cleavage out and she would introduce these. And this was like a genre of thing where Svengoolie is a good example. Elvira did this. You have a character, you create a character, and then you host a show where you play whatever movie that's in the public domain, that you can fit into whatever your niche is. And there were plenty of versions of that. Mystery Science Theater 3000 took that idea and kind of did something a little different with it. But the big one at the time was on the USA Network, and it was USA Up All Night. And absolutely schlocky, B- movies. And so I went from like not knowing anything about pop culture to only knowing deep niche cut trash popular culture. That's still kind of what I know about popular culture.
Fair enough. I remember the Up All Night commercials. I never really got into those movies at all. I've always been kind of boring when it comes to my media.
Well, people can be kind of judgy about the stuff you like to watch, but honestly, to me, anybody that can follow and keep up with like the long storylines of the soaps and stuff, that's impressive to me because I can't tell those people apart.
Yeah.
I remember I always saw them. They were always playing whenever we were in the beauty parlor to get our hair cut. That's what was on the TV. And there'd be stories on the TV and then country music on the radio, and somehow it worked. Like neither.
So you don't remember you don't remember the 90s on Days of Our Lives when Marlena became possessed by the devil and she was floating and green eyes and all that kind of stuff, or the show. Oh, what was the show that came on after that where they were wizards and stuff like that? Oh hell, it's right on the tip of my tongue. No, NBC soap about little people. Passions is what it was called. And they had all kinds.
What?
They had dolls that came alive, and they were like little people, and there were wizards and spells and all kinds of crazy stuff that happened on that show.
It sounds incredible.
It brought it right up, though.
Is Passions? Can we watch it somewhere?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I definitely see. Oh man, these images are pretty great. I don't really remember. Like I remember noticing things like their performances, like the way the actors behaved, the way the camera behaved versus the TV I was used to seeing, or like movies and that kind of stuff, like paying attention to its form. But I never really gave a thought to what they were talking about.
Right.
I remember a lot of slapping. People got slapped a lot. I remember like the music cues. I also didn't always understand what was being said on television, especially in that kind of format. But
there were other ones. There was a big soap called Santa Barbara that went off the air in the late 80s. That was one of my favorites. My mom actually let us stay home from school to watch the finale of that. There was another one called Another World, which was really good. We watched the NBC soaps. I've never watched like General Hospital or Luke and Laura was General Hospital is what it was. They weren't Days of Our Lives. I said that wrong. What are you watching?
I was trying to Google queer soap opera, but I hit return too early and AI is describing queer soap to me.
That would be Soap on a Rope, right?
Listen, handmade, often vegan. Palm oil free. Why
We gays are sensitive to the palm oil. Did you know? We have dainty skin.
Right. Urethra safe. I made that part up. Mountains of pride. So it's real.
I guess we're dirty.
True colors. Pittsburgh handmade vegan. Oh, what a delight. These products go beyond cleansing. Again, how?
That sounds kinky to me.
It does. I don't know if I don't need this much bang for my buck when it comes to
You gotta be careful with a hoo-ha and soap. Like it can cause like lots of damage if you ain't
this link
careful.
looks very no queer soap opera. No, it was storylines, but there's no like straight up queer soap operas. Interesting.
There was a show called Station 19 that was very gay, and it was a serial. It was really good. It was very gay.
Oh,
We watched the whole series. Gay firefighters.
Yeah, I see that. And that was for 2018.
Yeah, it went off the air a few years ago.
Is this some trashy shit on some network TV these days? I'm thinking of starting that show Ponies.
I've seen reference to it quite a few times here recently. I don't even know where it's at. Like where
it's on Peacock.
I have that.
Yeah. I think they're NBC, right? Peacock.
Yeah.
I know that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, for lack of a better way to put it, in terms of media, but like I'm trying not to support Paramount right now, which is really hard because I want to watch the new Star Trek. It's so fucking bad. Holly Hunter is the captain. I love Holly Hunter. Tig Notaro's in it. You know, maybe I'll find maybe a copy will fall off the back of a truck or something. So I was watching some more Peacock stuff, and they have some pretty decent stuff. Like, you know, it's regular old TV, but it's fun shit like that Natasha Lyonne show Poker Face. What a cool premise for a show. And I love her. She is hysterical. Although I think she quit the show, and I heard tell that they were going to replace her with Peter Dinklage, and that is, I'm sure he's great.
Natasha Lyonne, she has broken many a lesbian heart to find out she is not queer. Like that broke my heart. Like she has played some iconic queer characters, and how,
you know, yeah, she is so queer, I guess, without being queer. And I think she may be bi, I don't know, but that she's one of those that has like a line in her Wikipedia that says, you know, she's heterosexual, kind of like Melanie Linsky. Melanie Linsky is so goddamn queer coded that her Wikipedia says she's heterosexual, which I love. You want to be so much of an ally, so representative, and so like appreciative of and endorsed by a marginalized community that somebody has to go out of their way and say, actually, no, they're not part of that community. But I like Peter Dinklage as well, but I don't want to watch him do the stuff I was appreciating watching Natasha Lyonne do, you know?
Right.
But anyway, this Pony show has Emilia Clarke in it, and she's good and stuff, but this other person, there's one person in it who's just blisteringly hot. They're a non-binary person named Vic. I was reading it earlier, but I can't remember it now. Michaelis, it's like Michael and then IS on it. So like just really beautiful, like smoking hot person and funny. They're a comedian too. And Haley Lou Richardson is also very funny. But it's like a spy type thriller show, and Poker Face is similar, right? It's kind of like, it's sort of a procedural, but also not, because there's this kind of mythical quality to how she solves the problems in a fun way. And I just like seeing women have stories like that, because it's always been dudes, right? It's always been some con artists, that lovable con artists like the psych dude, or some like twitchy autistic white guy who solves problems, or the slick criminal like the Hannibals and stuff. Love all those things, but like, where are the women who get it, who are getting to solve impressive crimes and do fun things?
Excellent question.
Listeners, let us know if you have watched Ponies, or if you liked Poker Face and you're sad that Natasha Lyonne is no longer going to be in it. She said something about how she relapsed, so hoping she's taking care of herself. I'm sure she's not alone.
I just rewatched But I'm a Cheerleader like 2 weeks ago. It just breaks my heart that she's not queer. I'm just going to reiterate that. Her person in Orange is the New Black, like that shower scene, like how could you do that and not be queer?
She's a good actor. Yeah.
I guess. She's a method actor from what I can see.
Always knew Clea Duvall was gay, though.
Yeah. It was Graham, and I like girls a lot.
The student group shows But I'm a Cheerleader as one of their events every year, semester. I don't know. They do it pretty regularly, which I love. That wasn't even my idea. It was like, whoever introduced you to this, very cool. But I asked them if they had seen Drop Dead Gorgeous during their meeting 2 weeks ago, and they hadn't heard of it. And so I was like, okay, well, I fully support, But I'm a Cheerleader, not saying you should replace it, but y'all should watch this too, because a lot of queer culture, a lot of queer culture references this movie. You'd be surprised. But did you know that I think we talked about this, is based on a real thing?
Yeah, like Serial Mom. Did you know Serial Mom is based on a true story?
I don't know if I could. I kind of do want to recommend that they get into the John Waters stuff, but I also don't want to be responsible for it. That was one of those that I rented from the Jellicoe Video, and but I realized luckily that I should not watch it with mom and dad around. Like, what was it, the first 15 minutes, and he's in like the bedroom watching the porno with Chesty Morgan. It is going to be so hard to stitch this episode together. The first not 20 minutes, but 10 minutes that we were talking, this wasn't recording.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I panicked and smashed it. We'll see where it starts.
That reminds me, one time I went to the library, and I always took snacks with me when I'd be there for a while because I'm a fat kid, right? And one time I went there and I panicked and I ate all my snacks, and that's what I told Shanna. And we have had that as an ongoing joke for years now. It's like, I panicked and ate all my snacks.
I saw people posting that about the snowstorm. They're like, it just started snowing. I've already eaten all my snacks.
You just told me, I think, that we're getting more snow here in the next couple of weeks. So,
well, we are. I don't know. Maybe it'll peter out before it gets to you.
Though I looked at the 15-day forecast and not a single one above freezing.
Mm-hmm.
But we are 5 weeks from spring break, so there's that.
God damn, it goes fast.
Well, we're starting week 4 of the semester this week. So
yeah, a student told me that they were having trouble getting to class because they keep having this thought that if they go to class, something terrible is going to happen. I'm like, oh God, that never goes away. I'm not a therapist, but I was kind of describing exposure therapy to them in a way that didn't, without using that term. So I was like, besides the fact that you have to do this, I'm so sorry, you have to go to class. You're also, this is going to be you're going to be putting stuff in the bank for later. It's going to help you out if you just force yourself to do it. The more reps you get of going and doing the shitty thing that makes it feel like you're going to die, and then coming back without having died, the more your brain will start to go like, oh, maybe we were wrong about that. Maybe it wasn't that thing that was the actual threat. Maybe it was like standing in for something else that we're scared of and don't have any control over. Because people are like, I'm sure we are all displacing like a motherfucker right now. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Displacement?
Dissociating. Is that
well, that too. Well, yeah, that. But no, I think it's displacement, or like there's something that you're freaking out about or you're worried about, or something that's a threat, but you can't do anything about it. So you worry about something else that you can control. I think it's called displacement. I don't know. Somebody smarter than us, let us know.
We are treating ourselves and getting the Texas Roadhouse this evening, and I am very excited.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the best things about living near civilization, is that you can get just about anything to go and bring it home. It's way cheaper because I still tip 10%, but when I'm in the restaurant, I always tip 20 to 25%. So it's cheaper, and plus you don't have to buy the appetizer or the drinks or whatever. So it's reasonable. It's just a little bit more than it costs to go to McDonald's these days, I swear. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm getting a steak tonight. Woohoo!
I was about to ask what your order is. I almost bought a steak to fix at the store yesterday, but they're $17, so
Yeah.
I did not do.
The Texas Roadhouse has the best green beans in the world. They are fantastic. I always get a loaded baked potato, green beans, and a steak. I get their 8-ounce sirloin, and then you can't forget the rolls with the honey butter.
Damn, that sounds good. I guess I'll drive the half hour to the grocery store, and if I can get some cabbage, I could make this soup I've been wanting to make.
What is it called? Gas soup? Fart soup. If cabbage even comes near me, it causes stress. So yeah, that would be fart soup for me.
Yeah, I mean it can be a little flatulent, but it's one of my favorite things. It's tamarind soup, so it's very sour. You put a bunch of fish sauce and soy sauce in it, and it's like it's a Filipino dish called sinigang or sinigang. I don't know. I don't speak Tagalog, but yeah, and then put a bunch of tomatoes and onions and bok choy in it. I just really like cabbage though, and so one of my favorite things is kimchi. Have you ever had that? It's like maybe it was probably the most like non-Appalachian or exotic thing we ate growing up because Dad was stationed in Korea when he was in the army. And he got a taste for it, so he would always find it places. I don't know. I mean, they do carry it at like the big box stores, Walmart and Kroger and stuff. But we also had a Korean aunt who would make stuff. I don't know if she made him kimchi though. I don't know if they were really that in touch. But whenever we stayed over at their house, I just loved the smell of their house. It was so weird or so good. But she had also like when we stayed over there, we slept on those little mats, instead of beds,
Yep.
like silk covered mats. That's some good sleeping.
That would break my old ass in half now.
Well, yeah, now my bed is currently broken, but I can't lift it up to fix it.
When we were moving out of our last apartment into Mom's house, we had some guys come over and help us carry some stuff out to the corner. And one of the things we got rid of was my bed. And so I had to sleep in the floor one night and my legs nearly popped off my body. Like, yeah. So I don't recommend it.
The way it just like gets into your hips. It's always
Yeah.
the hips.
Well, where my legs swell, like if you even think sideways about them, they look like giant sausages.
Dude. My mom has been wearing different compression socks she has to wear now. She got lymphedema.
Oh, yep. I have like so many pair in all bright colors, so I can find them in the box. Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you would try to. Is that it? Because I was like, well, we don't have to try to make everything fashion, right? It can be like this. I'm okay with the fact that some of the shit I have to do for my health is ugly.
Yeah, like I have an electric blue pair, I have a red pair, I have a neon yellow pair. I don't have a black pair. I had one and I put my thumb through it, and both socks, so I had to get rid of those. But yeah, they're all bright colors because I have to buy the really big ones. It's like I have to buy the special ones off of Amazon. Yeah, super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have also moved into what are called diabetic socks. They are very elastic and they don't squeeze your feet too much. So those are really nice.
I mean, I'm not beating these diabetic allegations. I'm not. I get it now, but like there have been things now that I'm putting together, and I'm like, oh shit, that's what that was. And for the past several months, my socks have been leaving dents in my ankles.
Yep.
Like just an imprint of the inside of the sock. I've never really experienced that before. Well, that's fine.
My dogs are both curled up under my blanket here. It is so cold. It was 61 degrees in this apartment when I got up this morning.
Nessa said that they have a new house. It's one of those like, like a company will have a certain set of floor plans and you can go like, I want this one, and they just build it.
Yep. I live in one of those areas.
They said it won't stay warm for anything.
Yeah. There's something wrong with my thermostat. When you turn it on and it just looks at you. Yeah. Well, I still haven't called to have somebody come look at it because either I'm sleeping or working and I don't think to do it. It's always like Sunday afternoon when I think about doing it, and there's nobody that can come then. So we got a space heater. It keeps it pretty warm in here and lots of blankets.
If there's a Peddler's Mall or anything, there's almost always radiators in there for cheap. Like,
oh yeah,
portable radiators. Yeah, that's where I got mine. Like the big, like they're several $100s new, and I got them. Like, I picked up several for $20.
Wow.
And you roll them around, plug them in. They're oil, so they heat up oil inside them. Yeah. So I just sit one of those by the bed and turn it on at night.
Shanna was talking about getting an electric blanket, and I told her about a thing I read where 3 different people were like, an electric blanket started a fire in my house, and I was like, nope, we ain't getting one of those.
I have a couple. I would not sleep with them. Like I'm sitting under one right now, actually. It's a throw and it has a safety, like if it gets too hot, it pops off. And the newer ones, they have timers, like you can't leave them on for forever. They automatically turn them. The longest you can have it on is like 6 hours, 6 or 8 hours, I think. But yeah, still, I'm not curling up into bed for an 8-hour sleep under one.
Yeah, nope, me neither.
For one, I mean, even if it's not a fire hazard, it can be bad for your skin. Like people get burns and stuff from that.
Yeah. It's so cold in my bedroom. I live at the end of the building, so my bedroom has 2 windows in it, like on either wall. And so it's drafty in there just because winds are going 50 miles an hour outside, you know? So our bed is sitting there, and it was so cold the other night. I dreamed I was visiting Siberia. I was trying to check into Facebook from Siberia. Priorities.
Oh, dude.
Have you ever read the book The Price of Salt?
Oh, that rings a bell, but I think I would. Oh, Patricia Highsmith. Okay, that's why. Yeah. No, I don't think I've read it. There's a movie.
Yeah, I bought the book so that I could read it, but of course I have every other thing else to read in the world besides that right now. But I'm trying to get Shannon to read it so she can tell me what it's about. That's our book of the week right now. So listeners, if you read it, tell me if it's any good.
Well, I mean, Patricia Highsmith wrote Carol. People really love her stuff. I mean, it's, from the 50s, but she was writing actual lesbian stuff when a lot of people weren't. Maybe I'll read it. I don't know. Now I have to go back to writing, which is kind of missed writing. And this is a different kind of writing. So
yeah, I need to get myself back on the writing train. Kroger has these brownie bite things. They are not made there. They're made by some outside company and they get delivered there. I investigated, and they are so fudgy and so delicious that I cannot recommend them enough. So if you have a Kroger, get the brownie bites from the bakery. They are fantastic.
We don't have one. There's one about 90 minutes away.
Yeah. But they might have them in other stores. They're just called brownie bites. There's no brand.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like there's random bakery items for sale at like the little market down the corner here. And I'm like, who makes this?
Right.
And I think it comes on a refrigerated truck, but I don't know from where. AI said, do you mean Morton table salt? I didn't literally want you to give me the price of salt.
AI is so stupid.
It can be. You hear that, robots?
I have my students do a group project where they have to introduce the readings for every class. And one of the parts of the project is that they have to come up with discussion questions for the rest of the class and lead a discussion based on the topic. And they were like, we don't know how to do this. And I was like, if I have to tell you to use ChatGPT for this, then you're failing. Like take your PowerPoint, put it into ChatGPT and ask it to generate some questions. Like, how easy is that?
Well, or, there's proprietary AI now in every, like they're using the Microsoft Office suite as Copilot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of, I still kind of think right past it. Like I'll forget, like, oh yeah, I could have asked AI that or something. But the kinds of things I'm doing I don't go into that lane very often,
Yeah.
I think students are in that lane. They live there.
Yes,
Whereas,
they do.
The temptation must be incredible, especially if, but one thing we have known for a really long time is how overcommitted, how overburdened students are. There's a huge chunk of every campus, like every residency campus student body that has more to do than they have time for. And it's all expected of them. It's all needed because because a bachelor's isn't going to get you shit without extracurriculars. You got to be working on that resume every minute you're not there. And whatever way you choose to do that is going to eat up your time. So, I mean, I don't blame them at all for looking for shortcuts when I know that millennials were in the library eating and snorting Adderall or taking, what's it called, where you shotgunning Red Bulls in the library bathroom.
One time I was on the university conduct committee for several years. when I was still at active grad school. And I really liked it because I'm nosy and I like to know what's going on, right? And you got to be right up in the middle of everything. And there was one kid, he got caught by the police, by the campus police, and he let them come in his room and search his room where they found like 3 bottles of Fireball. So because they found the Fireball, they checked his backpack as well, and they found a baggie full of Adderall and $900. And he was like, "I don't know where that came from. I left my bag sitting at the library for like an hour with not watching it, and somebody put him in there." And it was like, where is this magical spot in the library where you get $900 placed into your bag? Please tell me. Like,
Yeah, I would go there and spawn.
yeah,
Like,
could carry several bags.
refill your health bar while you're there. Oh man,
It was one of my favorite excuses ever.
I looked in there. Somebody dropped $900.
And Adderall and Fireball.
Oh man, never give them probable cause, children.
And never let them search your room without a
Right.
warrant.
Yeah, I mean, it may be too late to learn your rights now. So last week, while we were recording our episode for this week, Alex Preddy was killed in Minneapolis, and it was so fucking obvious. It was so well documented and publicized from every angle, and the brutality so inarguable that they're actually changing a couple of things about how ICE is operating in Minneapolis. Nobody has, I don't think, been silly enough to suggest that there will be any improvements that come about from it, right? What's his name? Bavino has been removed. We don't know what he did anyway, right? All he did, to my knowledge, was march around looking like an SS reject,
Right?
and, mug at whoever was there filming. He may have given an order or two, but he was kind of a poster boy. That was his job. Kristi Noem is
A bird-legged hoe. Sorry.
she's already played her Nuremberg defense card. She did that one. I think it was on TV. She said, "Yeah, everything I've done is because of them. I was told to do it." So she's already made herself kind of a loose end. But now, I mean, we've got the FBI with masks on. We don't know if it's really the FBI. It could be ICE masquerading as FBI, because who the fuck knows? And how would we know? Like, detaining people at the Whipple building, they arrested 3 journalists for documenting a protest. So I don't know. Like know your rights, but also know that I don't think anybody intends to respect them anymore. I don't think you actually have them.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
The thing people are doing, and I think it's incredibly smart, is as they begin to be detained, they start shouting their information and their details to whoever's filming nearby, so that their identity is actually documented. Because once these people are disappeared into ICE custody, we don't know where they're going. Yeah. The National Guard is here, though.
But they're siding on the side of the protesters, though, which is fantastic.
Well, the Minnesota National Guard, there's one thing that Minnesota, I don't know how many states have this, but they are sworn to do, like, that's their, I don't know if you would call them marching orders, but like that's kind of why they exist. Like, in Minnesota, because Minnesota is a sanctuary state, it's one of the reasons why it's under siege right now. It's also a border state with Canada. So anywhere within 100 miles of the border, we lose the 4th Amendment. So
yeah, I live within 100 miles of the border. Yep.
Do you? I bet. Yeah, you do. So yeah, like our National Guard is opposed, and they were like, we will never be wearing masks. We're going to be wearing these high vis vests. Like, nobody will be able to masquerade as us. You'll never be confused. You won't confuse us with ICE. But then the FBI shows up and they're wearing masks too. And I'm like, is this real, or are they trying to make it look like it?
I thought they couldn't breathe with those masks.
Yeah. Just a few years ago, wasn't it deadly? Weren't we? I was being pelted with fake statistics about hypoxia.
And what about these Second Amendment people? When Trump was saying that you can't have your guns at a protest, the fuck you can't.
Right.
That's one of the most American things there is.
I mean, and I know a lot of what we see online, like this discourse, is bots. And this is something I thought about recently, is bots. Why are they all right-wing? Why aren't there left-wing bots out there?
That's a good question.
Like, we are sleeping on this shit, right? We stop taking the high road. If they sync to something and you see it working, sync right down next to them. I want to see an army of leftist progressive bots out there fighting with these fucking AI slot bots that can't tell the difference between somebody angry that they slipped on the ice because it's wintertime and somebody saying fuck ice. There's somebody on, I think it was X, posted about falling on the ice and being tired of winter. And they said, fuck, I'm so fucking tired of ice and winter and all this stuff. And multiple accounts replied with the same, he was drawing his weapon, blah, blah, blah. Because it was a bot and it couldn't tell the difference between fuck ice and fuck the winter, the frozen water phenomenon that we all collectively despise.
Right.
And in droves, they all come out. But where I never see any bots out there like trans lives matter. Free Britney.
Hey, maybe we should fund that.
I mean, you know, they're doing other cool things. There's like who is that hacker that infiltrated and deleted the Nazi dating app?
I didn't hear about that one.
I need to open an incognito window for this one. Martha Root. Yeah. German hacktivist operating under the pseudonym Martha Root gained significant attention in January 2026 for dismantling a network of white supremacist websites, one of which was a dating site, but called White Date, dubbed Tinder for Nazis. But she did it live on stage at this Chaos Communication Congress in Hamburg, Germany. So it was like a hacker conference. And so I've seen the video. I didn't understand it at all, but the audience did, and they were just going nuts. And she dressed up like the Pink Ranger and live deleted the websites White Date, White Child, which is a site for white supremacist sperm and egg donors.
Ew.
And White Deal, a racist labor marketplace. So she used an AI chatbot to utilize the platform through users. So this was a social engineering hack. So just actually duped these people, bypassed security checks, and gathered approximately 100 gigabytes of data, including 8,000 user profiles. Damn. So like they have those people, and that's more important than programming an army of bots to go around X and fight with people. But there's a TikTok account that I love though called MAGA versus Grok, or Grok versus MAGA, which Grok is the AI on X and MAGA will argue with it about reality, I guess. So there's like this account just gathers people being proven wrong, like their MAGA talking points being proved wrong by Grok. It's just kind of like an extra own, because Grok is probably the most compromised of, like, doesn't it create child porn?
I think so.
I think it got caught doing that. Yeah. What a world we live in.
That's a talking point that I bring up when we talk about pornography in class. Should child pornography that is AI generated be legal? And they have some very interesting thoughts on that. Because on one hand, who is it hurting if it's all AI and there's no actual people involved?
Well, AI can't make anything new though, so it is people.
There you go. That's a good comeback for that. None that my students have come up for that, but they do talk about how it leads to further victimization of children and how it just adds to the cacophony of voices out there that are pro that.
Yeah, I mean, there's psychosocial reasons probably for it, but
Another question we ask is, should pornography be allowed at the public library? If pornography is a First Amendment protected right, then why shouldn't it? As long as it's not being used or consumed in front of children, why shouldn't you have a section of pornography?
I mean, the public library, you can't even get them. They can't even put up a Black History Month thing right now.
Right.
You know, I mean, like public libraries have long since lost their First Amendment freedoms, especially, I mean, they're kind of battlegrounds for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
because they're a public service, they're under-resourced to fight that battle. Here, somebody got removed for putting up some sort of Black History Month thing a couple of years ago. I don't know. a certain university leadership that don't work in DEI, that have not done diversity work at all or for a sustained amount of time over significant sociopolitical changes in the way that pretty much every DEI practitioner above the level of assistant director have decided I'm trying to, this reminds me of when somebody states the obvious very excitedly, like, but it's something everybody else already knew. And so they're like, we're just going to change what we call everything. So they're doing that here with the pluralism thing. They're like diversity of thought and yada yada. So I think I think I'm not going to have a job for a while. If they actually do that. I mean, when they told us they wanted to do it, we all were like, that's fucking stupid. It's not going to work. They're not going to listen to us though.
Yeah. I worry about what I'm going to do after next year.
You'll have your PhD and that will open things up a little bit. I'm going to be an author, so I'll be like, I don't know. I don't think that's actually going to impact my employability that much.
It's still cool though.
I can't pronounce the name of the publisher. That's some German thing. I don't remember Foxworthy covering that one. If you can't pronounce the name of the publishing house for your dissertation, you might be a redneck.
So many of those fit my family. If you've ever mowed the yard and found a motor, you might be a redneck.
I remember people really loving those. Like the rednecks that I knew, like we liked those.
Yeah. If you ever buried your mama in the backyard, you might be a redneck.
I wonder what people who weren't rednecks thought of Jeff Foxworthy. Like, listeners, if you did not grow up identifying as a redneck and if you were aware of Jeff Foxworthy, let us know how people received. I know people make a lot of fun of him, which you should. Some of them were stupid.
Yeah. When I was in high school, we had like a talent show, and me and my friend were the MCs for the talent show. So we got up and did a skit of our own, and it was just us reading Jeff Foxworthy, You Might Be a Redneck one-liners for like 5 minutes.
Oh, man. Did you ever listen to Ray Stevens?
Oh, yeah.
I sing The Streak to myself a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Many of his songs. Woo.
Well, I've been doing deep dives, too, on YouTube. And recently I have no idea how, because I didn't even watch wrestling that much, but I've been going down these like video essays of the history of American professional wrestling and like all the dramas and things. It started with a deep dive on Hulk Hogan. So now I'm like elbow deep in it.
My grandma was a big wrestling fan.
Wrestling, yeah.
Yep, that's how you got to say it.
So this week's episode of Queernecks is sponsored by the Queernecks Wrestling Alliance. I just made it up. It's already got beef with at least 3 other sponsors and 1 folding chair. The Queernecks Wrestling Alliance. Keep your cinematic universes. This genderqueer melodramatic furniture war has to be smelled to be believed. Old gyms, lighting so bad it's a hate crime, belts made of rubber and tin. Everybody's got a championship they swear is legitimate. Nobody agrees on the rules, but everyone agrees that it's life or death. This is regional logic. If it happened near you, it's canon. If it happened to your cousin, it's gospel. Grudges get passed down like recipes. The alliance is formed based on geography, memory, and who still brings it up unprompted. In this alliance, sponsors don't just support the show, they feud. The Potbelly Coal Stove is undefeated in the Appalachian territory. Folger's can of bacon grease runs mid-south with an iron lid. Seasonal talents come in hot. They melt fast, but they still headline the card. There are factions forming too, just like Hulk Hogan's NWO. Some of them swear an oath to protect tradition, others cry it's time for equity-minded new blood, organizing in the corner of the gym, citing the great Jesse Ventura. Alliance is formed based on proximity, whether the creek is high, and who remembers what from the Great Tussle of '94. Interference, rewrites, diva behavior are constant, and the refs are purely ornamental. No contracts, no canon, no retirement. Your allegiance goes with you to the hereafter. So thank you to the Queernecks Wrestling Alliance, where the sponsors have heat, pageantry is paramount, and the storylines are longer lived than the buildings that house them. And we're already mid-feud.
You got some beef?
Yeah, I'm writing up a whole storyline.
Actually, one of the professors in my department has taken on the the history of some of the black wrestlers of that time, and he's got some really interesting stuff that he's been writing. So you're not the only one interested in that time frame.
I just remember the boys being so obsessed with wrestling, and I didn't get it at all. But I
Yeah.
wasn't like, I was friends with them all, but I wasn't a part of that inner circle. Like, guys didn't let you in to, because my big question was always like, do they know it's fake or not? Because they would swear up and down that it wasn't. But that was
Right.
the joke, right? Like the joke was that no, it's absolutely real, but they didn't actually believe that. And it's hard to think of straight cis guys having that level of play, right? Like that's kind of queer. It's one of the queerest things they do is play pretend to the level that they do.
Right. Hi, Wee.
Is she away?
Yeah. She's over there bouncing around. She's so cute.
She is. I've been watching pet content too online because it cheers me up.
Yeah. Well, that's why I watch the old America's Funniest Home Videos, and news bloopers are usually a minefield for a good laugh here and there. So if you're ever having a bad day, Google up some news bloopers.
It's true. You've seen the one where they were going to cut to the footage of the woman who was electrocuted. It wouldn't have been that bad if the guy had been able to keep a straight face, but like they had recorded an interview with a woman who had been electrocuted, and then when they went to play it, it was all scrambled, and so she was like, so they had to like scrap it, and they cut back to him, and he like halfway through his sentence, it struck him how fucking funny that was.
Well, obviously, there was a problem with that tape. She doesn't really sound like that. She doesn't remember the accident, but the evidence is clear.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
Have you ever seen the one where they are burning the weed? From the cops found a big supply of weed, and they're burning it, and the guy is standing next to it, and he gets the giggles real hardcore in the middle of it. That's one of the best news bloopers I've ever seen. There's one going around right now where they were looking for somebody, and so they used a drawing from his daughter, and it was like clearly a 5-year-old had done this version of her dad, but then they put the picture up, and it looked just like him.
We would love to hear what you all find kind of what makes you giggle when things are shitty. What do you do? I was talking to a student about this yesterday. How to, if you got an hour between shitty things you've got to do, what do you do to like give yourself a little bit of boost until you get to the end of it? Is it dumb shit like we're talking about? Do you do something physically? Too cold to be out walking, but maybe you've got a pet. I like to pick up one of the cats and stick my face in their belly, right? Like the fuzziest, softest, fuzziest part of them. They're all pretty used to it now, and they'll put up with it. Each of them makes their own kind of like, get off of me noise, but they let me do it. Kind of sensory stuff. Send us an email and let us know at mailbag@queernecks.com. And I'm going to put a link to the thing I just said in the show notes, and we can put it in the newsletter too. Did you bring a noun of Appalachian interest?
I did. Well, this week's noun of Appalachian interest is the Holler's one-lane bridge. A one-lane bridge found up a holler is not just a bridge. It is a test of nerves. It is a lesson in manners. It is the place where you lock eyes with your second cousin twice removed that lives up on the hill with his mamaw, and you decide telepathically who's backing up. So these bridges are skinny. Like, why did anyone approve this skinny? They cross creeks, rivers, and occasionally your sense of safety. There are no stoplights, no mirrors, no helpful signs, just vibes and a shared understanding that someone is about to reverse a truck uphill. And if you grew up around one, you learned the rules early. If you're closer, you go first. If you're already on it, you commit. If the other person has a trailer, though, you let them through and say a small prayer. Sometimes there's a little wave, sometimes there's a little eye contact that lasts too long. One-lane bridges teach patience in a way that no class ever could. Long or short, they somehow have a way of keeping you grounded. You can feel real sure of yourself until a dually comes around the bend, and suddenly confidence turns into negotiation. Those things are huge. These bridges were built for a different time, a time of fewer cars, smaller trucks, more trust. They remind you that Appalachia wasn't designed for speed, it was designed for getting there eventually. And if you know, you know. Every holler has that bridge, that one visitors hate, the one locals defend, the one that proves you belong once you cross it without panicking. The one on Big Run is by the S-curve and the church. Folks who've been there get it. So that's this week's noun of Appalachian interest. The one-lane bridge in the holler. It's not just infrastructure, it's part of the culture.
Man, there were some gnarly passes in the Narrows on 25W.
Yeah. Well, we have an S-curve. It's like, so my house was at the very beginning of the holler. And so it was about a quarter mile up the road where the S-curve was. And there's a church that sits on either side of it. There's like a creek that runs through the middle of the road. And there's a bridge that goes over it. And one person at a time is going. Like, you're not passing anybody on that bridge. So you got to learn to navigate. And plus it's in an S, so that doesn't make anything any easier.
No, and there's never a shoulder or a place to actually like get yourself out of the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they definitely do feel like they're from another time.
Yep.
Like, this was made for horses.
Not this double dually bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't help the cars some people decide that they need.
And up Big Run is a lot of semi-trucks. A lot of truck drivers live up Big Run. And so you'll be driving and you'll see them parked all over the side of the hill. And so you got to get the semis through that S-curve too.
I cannot imagine. I would absolutely have a panic attack if I tried to drive something that big. There's no way.
Me too. Yeah, my car is bigger than anything I've ever driven before, and I mean it's off the ground. I've never had an SUV before, so there's a learning curve there.
I was thinking yesterday, like, what would be, if I had to say what the least redneck thing I have is, because there's quite a few things that like I have or do in my daily life that are completely anathema to like the way I grew up, Appalachia. One, for instance, I have a fucking treadmill, like a fairly fancy treadmill with a computer in it that will like program, going up and down hills and stuff like that's not normal from where I'm from. So that would be a strong contender for like the least redneck thing I have. But another one is the car I drive. It's like a hatchback Subaru all-wheel drive, pretty hardcore. I won't say fancy. These aren't like luxury cars, but like they are very nice and they're more expensive than people can afford.
That's what my best friend drives too.
People weren't driving Japanese cars where I grew up.
Right. And they're so well safety rated. So
it's a great car. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why lesbians love them.
Yeah. And then they can go anywhere.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about lesbians loving Subarus. So
yeah, and Subaru knew about it. Like they targeted them.
Yeah.
Like the ads and stuff. You can go back to the 2000s, 90s and 2000s and see they had ads in like Curve magazine, Out magazine, Advocate. Like they were very early advertisers in queer media.
Because her best friend is a lesbian, my best friend has been accused of being a lesbian many times in her day. She's not. But she didn't know that about Subarus and thought it was hilarious because she had gotten one.
I didn't know it either. I didn't know anything about queer culture. I learned about that in college. But then a lot of what I knew about lesbian culture, I learned from watching The L Word.
Did you like that?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I watched most of it. The last season of the original series, I couldn't figure out what the fuck they wanted from me.
That's exactly how I was. I made it all the way to the last season and was like, nope, can't finish this.
I was like, what are we doing here? Is this a murder mystery now? And I don't think I finished it. But the first 5, I think it was, seasons, they weren't good, but like I watched them all and you couldn't call them compelling, but they were soap opera. It was soap opera,
Yeah.
It was messy and unrealistic. Like none of those people were real people. They also weren't anything. I didn't know any queer people who were like those people. They were it was unrelatable, right? They lived in LA. And the show kind of called that out a couple of times, but not in a meaningful way. But the thing the L Word did that was really important was it brought lesbian culture to the screen. It wasn't the male gaze, 2 women just happen to like having sex with women and they're lesbians in that way. It was dyke culture. So like they had the Dinah Shore episodes. There was the Subaru subplot, the Subaru ad subplot. There was they would always have a musical guest on there that was a big figure in queer culture. I remember the Peaches episode and I was like, what's going on? And it was like season 2. So, and they would do dumb shit that they didn't need to be doing, right? They would try to have right identities in there that they didn't have any business trying to tackle, right? Like the the lesbian trans woman, Lisa. That didn't need to happen. And it certainly didn't need to happen the way it did. They did something strange with the trans man's story arc. They didn't have to be doing all that shit. I was actually thinking, the drag king subplot
It's been a long time.
Kelly. I love this actress.
It's been a good 20 years since I watched that.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me too. I revisit. I really liked this actress. Well, I remember the name of the character too. Google's not going to know what to do with Kelly Winch. So there was a drag queen or a drag king storyline, and the dude's name was Ivan A. Cock. So it was the dumbest name, and he was. And this part isn't that far fetched, but he was like a greaser. He was doing a bit his performance to like a Nick Cave song, I think. But he was very much like 1950s. But the bit that they kind of confused that with being a trans man. And so he was always in drag, like he identified as his drag persona. I was like, no, a trans man is not going to name himself Ivan Acock and go around like that all the time dressed up like a greaser. What are y'all doing? So there were plenty of things that they fucked up about. But the L word was, even Queer as Folk didn't really do this. Queer as Folk didn't bring gay culture to its stories. It just brought messiness and faggotry and, what have you. And that's probably because Queer as Folk was an import from a culture that we don't understand. Queer as Folk was originally a UK show. And even the name doesn't make sense in American context because we don't have that expression. The first season of the L Word, I devoured it. We discovered it actually at the Blockbuster. Me and my roommates, when I was in college, we were at the Blockbuster and we saw it and we were like, what is this? This is crazy. So like we rented the DVDs from the Blockbuster. We like binged the first. When you would rent stuff from Blockbuster, it would come in like 3 or 4 episodes. We binged it and turned around and went right back for the next ones. But that slowed down over time. It became less interesting. It became harder to sympathize with anybody and harder to figure out what you wanted from your viewers. And I did not at all check out the Generation Q one.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it either.
I know a lesbian that lesbianed so hard she wrote her dissertation on the L word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should call it and go get something to eat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm hungry. I'm stuck here. Shannon's at work, but I got groceries. I got a whole box of brownie bites waiting on me over there.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll find something. Maybe I'll go up to the gas station and see what they got on the hot bar.
Did you ever eat at Big B's, get coffee from Big B's around here? Did you know the name of like that particular coffee place?
Yeah.
They just came out with a sausage biscuit with honey butter, and I am dying to try it. Right?
Wow.
Yum.
That sounds decadent.
Yeah. So that's going to be one of my next choices when I eat out.
Yeah, you'll have to report back.
Their sign got me the other day. So, and I also got the stuff to make chocolate covered strawberries this week. So one of my favorite. Yeah, they're so expensive. But if you just buy like a $5 pack of strawberries and a $3 candy bar, you can make your own and way cheaper.
Yeah, that's true of most things, honestly.
Yeah. But it's not so easy as just washing and drying your berries and dipping them in melted chocolate. Like couldn't be easier.
No. Well, R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. We loved you, Queen. Everybody, hopefully you could watch a movie of hers this week and heal your soul a little. Fuck ICE, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Kristi Noem.
Fuck 'em all.
And I don't know. Do your best. Keep doing what you're doing. Say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.